إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتون إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. إخوة الإيمان السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who give us the opportunity to gather here for another Salat al-Jumu'ah today. May Allah out of His mercy accept this as an act of ibadah from us. May He continue to shower His mercy upon the soul of our noble Prophet Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his companions, and we that we are on his path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless every one of us and gather us together in Al-Jannah to Firdaus. Today be the 15th day of the month of Dhu'l-Qi'dah, year 1445 after the hijrah of Prophet Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is equivalent to the 24th day of the month of May, year 2024. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this as an act of ibadah. In continuation of the discussion we are discussing concerning Ad-Duah, the acceptance of supplication, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in Quran chapter 2 verse 186. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa bihi nasta'in. Wa isa sa'alaka ibadi anni fa inni qaribun ujibu da'wata da'i idha da'ani falyastajibu li wa liyu'minu bi la'allahum yarshudun. Sadaqallahu al-azim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that whenever my servant comes to you and inquire from you about me, tell them whenever they call me, whenever they invoke unto me, I'm going to listen to them and I'm going to give them whatever they request from me. On one condition, they should be patient and believe in me that I'm going to do it for them. If they have all these characteristics in them, that means they are rightly guided and they are going to be successful. So whenever we are calling on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to have a level of, a maximum level of being patient, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us whatever we requested from Him. We have been discussing concerning the activities that need to be done while you want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept your supplication. The first one that we mentioned, according to the hadith of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was that whenever a call to prayer of Salatul Zuhur is being called, immediately after the Salatul Zuhur is called, the prayer is called, we are encouraged to observe 4 units, 4 rak'at of supererogatory prayers before the commencement of what? Of the Salatul Zuhur that is referred. Number 2, immediately after the Iqamah, before the Takbiratul Ihram that the Imam is going to say, that short period is a period that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to answer the prayer of whoever calls unto Him. Number 3 is as-sadaqah, which we discussed last week. Sadaqah has a lot of influence and it used to serve like a catalyst to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to answer our what? Our supplications and our prayers and whatever we request from Him. Number 4 is al-hilmu, to endure, wa adabu intisari lin-nafs, which we explained last week. And I differentiated between endurance, al-hilmu was sabr. endurance and patience. And we told us that we have 3 types of patience, which we mentioned to us last week. Number 1, as-sabru ala ta'ah, to be patient on following the injunctions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As-sabru ala al-ma'asiyah, the second one, to be patient from committing sin. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks you not to do, but you have interest in doing it. So denying yourself from doing it is also a patience. And number 3, as-sabru ala al-bala, exercising patience on what? On trials that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might have inflicted on any one of us. Either you are looking for a good job, you didn't get it, and you have the best of the certificate. Maybe you are looking for a best wife, you didn't get it. The one that you have gotten, you are always having issues. Maybe you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you children. Allah is here to give you. All these are trials. So if you continue to be exercising patience, one very day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will liberate you. So these are the 3 categories of patience that we have. And we told us, al-hilmu is for you to be able to defend yourself. Not that you want to fight people, but what is being associated to you, you are trying to defend your integrity. Somebody calling you an armed robber now is trying to blackmail you. You are not an armed robber. So you have to defend your integrity so that other people will not continue to be labeling you as what? As an armed robber. You are not an adulterer. You are not a murderer. You have never killed anybody. To even slaughter an animal is a very difficult task for you. Not talk of killing a human being. And they label you, they tagged you with the symbol of what? Of a murderer. You need to defend yourself that you are not a murderer. We explained all this last week. And the hadith that testify to this concerning Saheed Abuhurayrah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that somebody abused him 3 times, and the 3rd time he also responded, and Nabi Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam stood up. We explained all this last week. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all this as an act of ibadah. One incident that I was unable to discuss with us before the time elapsed was the incident that happened in Riyadh concerning a particular person that cheated a less privileged person, which I would love to share with us when we have a large number more than this, inshallah, for people to be able to benefit. Because among the people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to answer their supplication instantaneously is somebody that you deliberately do any wrong thing to. At that point in time, if you call on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if the person is already a friend to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will come to his aid. Allah will rescue him. Allah will fight his fight. May Allah give me the retentive memory to remember before the end of this khutbah today. Number 5, we have discussed 4 out of 7, which Bikuratullah ta'ala we are going to finish everything today. Number 5, among the activities, among the actions that we need to put in place, among the things we need to be doing, if we want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be answering our call, is what? Al-Mudarrisatul Qur'an al-Karim fil Masjid. It's for us to go and be reading, to go and be reciting, to go and be learning Qur'an fil Masjid, in the mosque. So Quran is just not meant for us to be reading in our various homes. Quran is not just meant for us to be read in our offices. Quran is not just meant for us to keep it inside the PTOs of our vehicles. Or we just do whatever we like with it. It's not just that alone. We need to go to masjid. We need to go to madrasa to go and learn about Quran. To go and learn what the injunctions of Quran are. Abuhurayrah radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told them that Majtama'a qawmun fi baytin min buyutillah. A group of people will not be sitting ordinarily in the house of Allah. And where is the house of Allah? Or which one is the house of Allah? Al-Masjid. It's not that your mansion. It's not that your 3-bedroom flat. It's not that your bungalow. The house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is where? Is the masjid. And brothers, no matter what no matter how much amount you used to build a masjid, the very day that masjid is completed, it's no more your property. It belongs to whom? To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have given you the opportunity, to have given you the sense, to be able to think that I need to take this money to build a house. So after completion of that house, it belongs to whom? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the house is the masjid. And the masjid is for whom? Wa anna masajida lillahi fala tad'u ma'allahi ahada. The house belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fala tad'u. You must not do any dua. You must not do any nida inside the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa fala tad'u ma'allahi ahada. You must not call any other person in that masjid, in that house, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in the place of worship, which is our own mosque, as Muslims, we are not meant to be discussing politics here. All what we need to be doing there is what? Al-Mudarrisatul Qur'an al-Karim. And Abuhurayrah now told us from an authentic hadith that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there is no way that a group of people gather together inside a mosque, inside a house, among the houses of Allah. Yatiluna kitab Allah. And they will now be reciting, they will be reading, cogitating, thinking about Allah, and be reading the scripture of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَتَدَرَّسُونَهُ فِيمَا بَيْنَهُمْ. And they will now be discussing it between them. They will be reading and they will be discussing. Some people can stand somewhere, can sit somewhere, they will be reading, just doing the tilawatul Qur'an. And some, they will be doing what? The dirasa. They can be doing tafsir. They can be doing hafiz, tahfiz. These are all what Quran are meant for. Illa, if they are doing all this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do 4 things for them. Just because they gather inside the masjid, they are discussing Quran, they are memorizing Quran, they are reading Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do 4 things for them. Number 1, Nazala alayhim sakina. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will descend unto them tranquility, peace, and harmony will be with them. In any gathering that they are discussing Quran, in any gathering that they are reading Quran, in any gathering that they are translating Quran, in any gathering inside the bed, inside the house, among the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they are memorizing Quran, Allah will descend down, we send down to them is sakina. Brothers, let every one of us think about it. If you are the type that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really touch your heart, whenever you are reading the Quran, you will be happy. That is the power of Quran. And no any other scripture before it, no any other scripture can compete with it, and no any other scripture will come after it. That is the miracle of Al-Qur'an. So wherever it's being read, wherever it's being memorized, wherever it's being discussed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send His peace, His tranquility, His harmony is going to send it to them. Number 2, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do for them is وَغَشِيهُمْ rahmat. وَغَشِيهُمْ rahmat. Aw rahmatu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to cover them. You know, the first one is to send down. Now, وَغَشِيَهُمُ bi rahmatihi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to send down to them what? He's going to cover them with what? With His mercy. Ar-Rahmah. Allah will use it on them. That you are my beloved ones. He's going to shower them. He's going to encompass them with His what? With His Rahmah. Number 3, وَآفَتُهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ. Allah will send His angels. He will send His angels down to them. To do what? To surround them. The angels will surround the people that are Al-Qur'an. There is an hadith of Nabi Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam that said, Inna lillahi alun fil ard. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a family on the earth. Then I asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wa man hum alullahi ala al-ard? Who are the family of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are on the earth? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam now responded that Alullahi hum alul Qur'an wa khasatuhu. The family of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are on the earth, that are living on the earth, they are alul Qur'an. They are those that used to read the Qur'an. They are those that used to sleep with the Qur'an. They are those that used to relate with Qur'an. They are those that used to work with Qur'an. Qur'an is their guide. Wa khasatuhu. Them doing this, Allah has chosen them as His own beloved servants. They are the chosen ones in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we can see the magnanimity of Al-Qur'an in us. So, in the garden that Al-Qur'an is being read, in the garden that Al-Qur'an is being discussed, in the garden that Al-Qur'an is being memorized, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send wa khafatihul malaika. He will send down His angel to go and surround them and do what? And keep on protecting them. Number 4. وَذَكَرَهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي مَا عِنْدَهُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now be reminding the people around Him. And who are the people around Him? Allah, the angels. Allah will now be mentioning that we are reading Qur'an, that we are discussing Qur'an, that we are memorizing Qur'an. Allah will now be discussing our issue with the angels. Allahu Akbar. We can see how powerful Al-Qur'an is. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is one that told us this, that those that are sitting down in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those that are discussing Qur'an, those that are memorizing Qur'an, those that are reciting Qur'an, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will share these 4 benefits with them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala count us among the people that will benefit from this. And Uqba ibn Amir used to be a Sahaba of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Man ta'allama al-Qur'ana wa 'allamahu khairukum. He said, Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, khairukum, the best among you people is who? Man ta'allama al-Qur'ana wa 'allamahu. The best among you is the person that learns Qur'an, he knows Qur'an, is working with Qur'an, is so conscious of Qur'an, and is teaching other people Al-Qur'an. That is the best among you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala count us among the best in this world and in the hereafter. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now inquired one very day. This hadith was narrated by Uqba ibn Amir. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him. He said one very day, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked them, the companions, who amongst you can go to Bhutan? Bhutan is a very far land. It's very far away from Medina. And Bhutan is still existing to today. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now asked them, who among you can go to Bhutan? Or we can cite an instance from here in Lagos State that we are now to where? To either Portisco or to Maiduguri. You know how far it is. That is the similitude of Bhutan to Medina. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, who amongst you can go to Bhutan and come back with 2 big camels? And he's not going to steal the camel. And if he is not having a camel that he has given to somebody to hold on with for him, that I'm coming in so time to go and come and collect what? These camels. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, who amongst you can do that? All the Sahabas, they said, Kai, we can't do it, Ya Rasulullah. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them that whoever amongst you go to Baytun min buyutillah, goes to the house of Allah, among the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he recites just 1 or 2 pages of the Qur'an, is equivalent to what? To him going to where? To Bhutan and go and come back with what? With 2 camels. So if you read 3 pages of Qur'an, you will come back with what? With 3 camels. That is the parable that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam shared with them, so that we can see the benefit of what? Of reading Qur'an. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala count us among the Ahlul Qur'an and accept it as an act of ibadah from us. This is the 5th activity that we need to be doing if we want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to answer our dua. Number 6, among the 7 points that I promised we are going to discuss, is majalis al-zikr or majalis al-zikr. The gathering where al-zikr is being read. Every one of us, you know what al-zikr is. Remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it's not every time in the context of Quran that this zikr means what? Remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Which we are going to see along this khutbah. Al-zikr literally means remembrance. It can also mean what? As-salah. Abuhurayrah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu told us that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells them, Inna lillahi ta'ala malaikatan, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has some angels. Shayyaratan fudala, that these angels, sayyaratan, they used to move around, they travel around. Fudala, these angels, they are angels that are honorable. They are honorable angels. They are assigned special mission that Allah has them. Yatatabbi'una majalis al-zikr. They used to go up and down to locate where? Majalis al-zikr, the gathering where the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being mentioned. I hope we are following. فَإِذَا وَجَدُوا مَجْلِسًا, whenever these angels are they are traveling up and down, they are moving around, and they now found a gathering where people are sitting down, fihi zikr, that they are remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that gathering, qahadu ma'ahu, these angels will now sit down. They will sit down with the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are sincerely remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَمَّا بَعْضُهُمْ بَعْضًا بِأَجْنِيَّتِهِمْ, these angels, they will sit closer to each other to the extent that their wings will interlock each other's wings, that there won't be space in between their wings. They will sit down surrounding the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are remembering him. يَمُلَوْ مَا بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ السَّمَاءِ الدُّنْيَا, they will be participating in what is happening among the people, the Ahlul Zikr, and what is happening in between the heaven and earth. فَإِذَا تَفَرَّقُوا, when the sitting the gathering of the Zikr comes to an end, Ad-Duah and the people that are doing the Zikr, they dispatch. Wasaidu ila samai. Ariju wasaidu ila sama. These angels, they return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They return back to the heaven. Fayaqula Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam now told us, after this explanation, that the angels, they will be moving around everywhere. Wherever they discover a gathering where the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being mentioned, the angels too will sit down. They will spread their wings. They will interlock the wings together. There won't be any space in between angel A and angel B's wing. They will use it to like a perimeter fence around the Ahlul Zikr. So when the Zikr comes to completion, the angels, Haraju, Wasaidu, Ila Sama, they dispatch, they fly back to where? To the Sama, to the heaven. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, فَيَسْأَلُهُمُ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِهِمْ. When they get back to the heaven, فَيَسْأَلُهُمُ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ, وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِهِمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not inquire from them that where have you gone to? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is asking, don't he know that they are not around? وَأَسِيرُ قَوْلَكُمْ أَوْ وِجْعَرُ بِهِ إِنَّهُ هُوَ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ اللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقَ وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows all this. But he will still ask that you, these angels, where have you gone to? وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِهِمْ. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the knowledge of their whereabouts. مِنْ أَيْنَ جِئْتُمْ. He now asks them, where are you coming from? Allah will ask the angels, مِنْ أَيْنَ جِئْتُمْ. Where are you coming from? فَيَقُولُونَ. The angels, they will now reply Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, جِئْنَا مِنْ عِبَادِ اللَّهِ فِي الْأَرْضِ. We are coming back from your servant. جِئْنَا مِنْ عِبَادِ اللَّهِ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Your servants on the earth surface, we are just coming back from them. You know they are servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at where? In Sama. We are servants of Allah at where? Fil ard, on the earth. So they will tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that our absence led us to the earth. So we just came back, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows already. They will not tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Yusabbihunaka. Your servants on the earth, Yusabbihunaka, they are glorifying you. That glorification was so much. وَيُكَبِّرُونَكَ, they are exalting you, they are doing takbirat. They are doing Subhanallah wa bihamdi, Subhanallah al-Azim, Subhanallah wa bihamdi, Subhanallah wa bihamdi, Subhanallah wa bihamdi, Subhanallah al-Azim, Subhanallah wa bihamdi, adada khaliqihi, wa rida nafsihi, wa zinata arshihi, wa midada kalimatihi. They are doing all this. Yusabbihunaka. They are adoring you. They are purifying your holiness. Wa yukabbirunaka. They are doing takbirat. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahi alhamd. They are doing this. Wa yuhammidunaka. And they are praising you. They are doing Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. They are doing all this. Then after when they finish all the tasbihat, wa ta'lilati, wa takbirati, wa ta'midat, after finishing all the wa yasalunaka, they now ask from you Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is what led us to what? Wa isa sa'alaka ibadi anni fa inni qaribun. After praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you need to ask him. You need to be among as-sa'ilun. You need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whatever you want. فَقَالَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now said, وَمَاذَا يَسْأَلُونِي. What is it that they are asking for from me? What is their need? What are their requirements? قَالُوا, the angels in answer, يَسْأَلُونَ جَنَّتَكَ. They are asking for your paradise. After all the praises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they now told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that these servants of yours, they are asking for your what? For your paradise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now ask, وَأَلْ رَأَوْ جَنَّتِي. Have they ever seen my what? My paradise? The angel will now reply Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, La, they have never. La ayraya, la, they have never seen your la ayyurab. Oh Allah, they have never seen your what? They have never seen your paradise. They are just asking, Fakaifa law ra'a jannati. What if they have not seen my paradise? What will they even be asking for? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exclamated on this. Faqala al-malaika. The angels, they now said again that وَيَسْتَجِرُونَكَ مِنْ نَارِ. Oh Allah, they are also seeking protection. They are trying to fortify themselves against your hellfire. وَيَسْتَجِرُونَكَ مِنْ نَارِكَ. They are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect them against the hellfire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now ask again, وَأَلْ رَأَوْ نَارِي. Have they ever seen my hell? have they ever seen my hellfire? فَقَالَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ The Malaika will now say, La, they have never seen it. فَكَيْفَ لَوْ رَأَى نَارِي So why are they asking for forgiveness, for protection against my what? Against my hellfire? فَقَالَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ The Malaika will now say, وَيَسْتَغْفِرُونَكَ How will they look like? How will they be if they have seen my hellfire? Call they now say, they are seeking for your forgiveness again. Ya Allah. Faqala Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now say, Qad kafartu lahum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I have forgiven them. They have never seen my paradise, nor have they ever seen my what? My hellfire. And they are still seeking for my what? For my forgiveness. Allah will now say that I have forgiven them. وَأَتَيْتُهُمْ مَنْ سَأَلُوا After forgiving them, whatever they ask for, me Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I have given them. وَأَتَيْتُمْ مَنْ سَأَلُوا Not that I'm going to give them. وَأَتَيْتُمْ مَنْ سَأَلُوا I have given them whatever they are asking for. وَأَجَبْتُهُمْ مِمَّا اسْتَجَارُوا وَأَجَبْتُهُمْ مِمَّا اسْتَجَارُوا And I'm going to protect them from whatever they are seeking my protection from. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted the wishes of whom? Of the person that I asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him or her the what? The Al-Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted the wishes of the person that asked from Allah that, oh Allah, I want you to protect me from your hellfire. Allah said, I'm protecting him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgiven the person that has asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive him. And whatever I ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I told to whom sa'adu. Allah said, I have granted him. فَقَالَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ The Malaika will now say, فِيهِمْ فُلَانٍ أَبْنُ خَطَّابٍ Among them, there is a servant of yours. He used to be a sinner. Abdul Khattab. He's a sinner. إِنَّمَا مَرَّ He was just passing by. فَجَلَسَ مَعَهُ As he was passing along the road, he saw a gathering of people doing zikr. He now went inside and he sat with them. But before getting there, he was a sinner. The angels are the one telling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like this. فَقَالَ اللَّهُ Allah will now say, وَلَا أُغَفَرْتُ May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have forgiven him despite the fact that he was a sinner. Because he felt that they are calling me and he also participated in the call. I have forgiven him. Allah will now say, Humul qawmu This gathering of people that are sincerely calling unto me Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, qawmun la yashqa jalisihim They are the people that will never become unfortunate in this gathering. Kama qala Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has told us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala count us among the people that will be fortunate and not among the unfortunate set of people. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. Now, this is what az-zikr is all about. Then, we have different kind of az-zikr. Anwa'u majalis az-zikr. Different kind of gatherings of remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, the Malam, the scholar that did the Sharh Sahih Bukhari, is called Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. He was the one that made us to understand that the sitting, the gathering of zikr are classified into 6 categories. They are classified into 6 categories. Number 1, Tashmalu an zikrillahi bi anwa'i zikr al-warida bit tasbih wa takbir wa ghayrihima. Number 1, among the type of zikr gathering that we need to concentrate on is the one that they are sitting down to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly with his name, be calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with whatever we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to use to answer us without associating any partnership with him. like the one we just mentioned, that they will be doing La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Tashimalu an zikirillah. This is a category of remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're still going to come back to gathering together to do this. Is it acceptable or not? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the opportunity to be remembering Him. But are we to remember Him solitarily, or we are to remember Him in congregation? So, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani said the first category of the type of azikir that we can do to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to be doing ta'lilat, is to be doing takbirat, is to be doing tahmidat, is to be doing tasbihat. That is number one. Number two, tilawatu kitabullah tabarakallahu wa ta'ala. To be reading the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And which book are we referring to? We are referring to Al-Qur'an al-Karim. Innahu la-Qur'an al-Karimun fi kitabin karimin la yamassu'u illa al-mutahharun tanzilu min rabbil alamin. Innahu la-Qur'an al-Karim. This Quran, there is no any other literature, there is no any other scripture that has the nobility and the honor that Al-Qur'an has. Fi kitabin maknun. This Al-Qur'an al-Karim is a book that was revealed unto Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-Maknun, that is being protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we need, that is concealed. Al-Qur'an should be in our hearts, and whenever we are carrying it, like the way we are carrying an egg. Everybody take or carries an egg as a precious substance. That is how Quran al-Karim should be with us. While we are carrying it, and while we are working with it, or whenever we are reading it, or whenever it's being memorized. So Al-Quran can be worked with either by the Tilawatul Qur'an, or Tafsirul Qur'an, or Hifzul Qur'an. Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani told us that number two, among the type of the gathering that we need to sit, is wherever Al-Qur'an al-Karim is being treated. It shouldn't be only during the Ramadan that tafasirs will be going around in various mosques. It shouldn't be only that time. Every time we should get ourselves acquainted to what? Al-Qur'an al-Karim. Number three, fi majalis qira'at al-hadith. In a sitting where the tradition, hadith means the tradition of Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We all know what hadith is. The sayings, the actions, and what was done around Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I didn't tell them that is bid'ah. That is what we call hadith. What was done in the presence of Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I didn't go against it. It's hadith, because it should be documented. And what Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said by himself is hadith. And what he do physically is an hadith. So all these actions, they are compiled together, are the literatures that me and you are reading today. So any gathering that the ahadith of Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are being read is also a gathering of what? Az-zikr. Among the literatures, among the books that we'll be reading in the gathering of ahadith is what? Sahih Bukhari. Anywhere Sahih Bukhari is being read, we should go and sit down there. Because the Sakina, the Rahama, Hafatul Malaika, and the remembrance of Allah, remembering us in front of angels, will also be shared with us if we are in that gathering. Sahih Muslim is there. Sunan Tirmidhi is there. Sunan Abu Dawud is there. Ibn Majah is there. And other literatures of Ahadith. Mustalihul Hadith is there. What is Mustalihul Hadith? Mustalihul Hadith is the literature, is the mechanism that is used, is the tools, is the apparatus that is used to differentiate different kind of ahadith. It's the one that will let us know that this hadith is hadithun sahihun, this hadith is hadithun hasan, this hadith is hadithun hasanun lighairihi, this hadith is hadithun mawdu', this hadith is hadithun da'ifun. It is mustalihul hadith. The knowledge of mustalihul hadith is the one that will let us know that this hadith is good hadith, this one is fabricated hadith. Anywhere that such gathering is being carried out, we should go there and sit down and learn. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mercy is going to be with us. And if you raise your hand and ask Allah for anything, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant you whatever your wishes are. Number 4, majalis mudarisatul ilmi shari'i wa muzakiratuhu. A gathering where the fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence, the knowledge of fiqh is being discussed. We all know what fiqh is. Ahkamus salat, ahkamus siyam, ahkamus janaza, ahkamus nikah. It is from this fiqh that we are going to know how we are going to what? How we are going to know how to pray. Maybe they are reading what? Adali. Maybe they are reading what? Ashmawi. Maybe they are reading what? Risalatu Al-Qayrawani. Maybe they are reading what? Muwatta Imam Malik. Maybe they are reading what? Fiqh Sunnah. Maybe they are reading what? Fiqh Dalil. All these literatures, an uncountable number of them like that, they are what? They are Sharia books. And what is Sharia all about? Sharia is to tell us this is the right, this is the left. Sharia is our own constitution. And what we mean by constitution is called Qanun. As Nigeria is, they have their constitution. If you steal something from office, this is what they will do for you. If you abuse social person, blasphemy, this is what they will do for you. If you abuse the president, this is what is going to happen to you. If you have everything has been stated in the Nigerian constitution. So also, our own Qanun that will continue to be guiding us is our own Sharia. Sharia to Musa utilati bi Nabi Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sharia of Musa alayhi salamullah has been abrogated by the Sharia of whom? That of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sharia to Musa utilati bi Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because during the time of Nabi Musa, his own Sharia was more severe and more stringent than our own Sharia. Then, if you pee, if you wee-wee, and wee-wee splashes on you, you have to go and look for stone to clean it. But we now, you just do what? You sprinkle water, you clean it off. With the arrival of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, utilati bi Shariati Musa. So our own Sharia is the one that will be guiding us, to be telling us that if a bachelor and a spinster, a man that doesn't have wife, and a lady that is yet to marry, if they fornicate, this is the Sharia, this is the judgment we are going to pass on them. But if it is a married woman and a married man, this is the Sharia we are going to do what? We are going to pass on them. It is our own Sharia that will let us know. Let me give us another instance. Let's assume somebody inside a public transport, maybe a motorway or a luxurious bus, start tampering, start touching another person's wife or a woman. She now raises her voice. According to our own Sharia, if we are to flog that person, the man that is touching another woman illegally, we are going to flog him 20, for instance. But in the neighborhood where you are living, you now touch another woman, an illegal woman to you. What that person inside the bus did is what you too, you perform on another person's wife in your neighborhood. We are going to flog you 40. And it's the same offense. I'm just using 40 as an example. Are we getting it? Why is it 40 and it's the same offense? Because his own will be 40 because number one, he's a resident member of that place. He's disturbing the peace. The first 20 for him will be that he's disturbing the peace of the what? Of the neighborhood. Then the second 20 will be for the atrocity he has committed. That's why he's going to be flogged 40. And he committed the same offense with the offense that the person inside the bus also committed. That is our own Sharia. The same offense, but different judgment because of different locations. If not our Sharia, we won't know all this. So anywhere that Sharia is being discussed, fiqh books are being read, we are encouraged to go and sit down there and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant our wishes. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help us, He will grant us our requests. Number 5. Inda su'alul khairati dunya wal akhirah. Wherever blessings of this world and in the hereafter is being asked from Allah, is being sought from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, try to also participate and do what? And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to also grant you what they are requesting for. When we finish our khutbah, if you observe, I say, ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكيها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها اللهم آتي نورك من نورك اللهم آتينا نورا من نورك اللهم افتح لنا أبواب السماء. Oh Allah, open the doors of the heavens for us. I used to say it more often because the doors are there. And they used to open it. I want to be among the people that they will open it for. Why is Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Why is it that he always raises his hand up if there is nothing over there? So wherever they are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessing of this world and that of hereafter, we should do what? We should ask. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة. As so many, a countable number of what? Rabbana inside Qur'an. So wherever the blessings of this world are being asked from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you should ask. Wherever the blessings of hereafter are being asked, you should ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any gathering that they are doing that, whatever you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will surely grant you. Number 6. Among the type of gatherings that Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani told us that wherever you are there, inquire from Allah whatever you want, Allah will grant you your wishes. إجماع في صلاة النافلة في هذه المجالس النظر. Anywhere that they are observing nafla, supererogatory prayers, you should join them, participate in it, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you whatever you want from Him. It's not all supererogatory prayer that is being observed now that was recommended by Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Number 1, among the one that was recommended, that me and you were observing, that we ought to continue to be observing. Number 1, Naflatul Eidain, Eid al-Fitr, the prayer that we used to go to our Eid to go observe, is a nafla. If you miss it, you have not committed any sin. It's just that you miss what? A big reward in sight of Allah subhanahu, and you don't know, maybe you are going to live to witness the other one. So why can't you struggle to make sure that what? You participate. Even Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, this hadith is in Bulugul Marani, that our women, if they are in their menstrual cycle at that particular period of time, they should dress up very neatly and go to the Eid praying ground. They should not just enter. They can stay behind the fence of the Eid praying ground, so that they can be seeing the joyful mood of the Muslims and the Mu'minun, and to also listen to what? The khutbah of the Imam. So also, during the Eid al-Adha that we are anticipating now, inshallah, we have actually maybe like 25 days to go. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala count us among the people that will live to witness it, that will observe it, and is going to accept it as an act of worship from us. And this is not going to be the last one we are going to observe in good state of health, with lawful resources that we use to enjoy our life and return back to Allah as a fulfilled person. We could read to light Allah at our old age, inshallah. So these two Eidain, these two festivals, these two Eid, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, is a nafla. If you miss them, you have not committed any sin, but you have lose lot of bounties of opportunity inside of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is number one. Number two, Salatul Istisqa. The nafla that we used to observe to seek from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us rain. Whenever there is drought, that there is no rain. And if you want to observe that, you have to remove your clothes and turn it upside down. It is the inner part of your clothes that you now turn it what? To the outer part. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that was what he did. We are going to discuss this when we get to the ethics of istijaba. What you need to do. You know, this one now we are saying activities, the actions you need to do in place. Therefore, Allah to accept those activities you have done. The ethics you need to implore for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all what you are doing. How are we supposed to do it? We are going to mention some things like that to us. Salatul Istisqa, the nafla that we used to observe to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us rain. If there is famine, F-A-M-I-N-E, famine, if there is no rain, there won't be anything on the farmland. If you plant anything, they won't germinate because there is no rain. So then we gather. It happened during the time of Nabi Dhu'l-Qi'dah alayhi salamullah. In our next class, I'm going to tell us. In our next khutbah, I'm going to tell us. At that time, you can also ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you whatever you want, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to grant it. That is another type of what? Another type of nafla. Number three, inda kusufu wal kushuf, when there is eclipse of the moon and eclipse of the sun, that the sun and the moon to look as if they want to meet together. You won't know maybe it's day or it's night. It's not when the rainbow is out. You won't know the time that the rain is or the sun is supposed to come out, maybe you are in darkness. The time that the sun is supposed to come out, the moon is supposed to leave for the sun to come out, they will be there as if there is going to be the end of the world wants to happen. In the kusufu wal kushuf, the nafla that we used to observe there is a supererogatory nafla, and if nothing like that is happening, we should not observe that nafla. These are the categories of the nawafil that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam encourages us that we can pray in congregation. Then number 4 is that is Salat Tarawih. And Salat Tarawih is only meant for when? During the Ramadan. So aside all this, that of Salatul Janaza is compulsory, that we must perform what? We must perform for the corpse. And it cannot be only once. It cannot be only once. This set of people can observe finish, if another set of Muslims come and they still want to observe Salat Janaza, they can do. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, nobody can say this is the Imam that led the Salat Janaza. And when they want to bait him, they didn't remove his clothes. He was baited with his clothes on his body. When they were contemplating them, Abubakar, Amrujari Rusaya Sabu Nabi Muhammad, are we to remove his clothes? They just had a voice, an archie from heaven, that Allah, you shouldn't remove his body, you shouldn't remove the clothes. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was baited, the funeral bath, with the clothes. And after that, everybody that come just perform their Salati Janaza. Nobody, it's not in the seerah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that this is the Imam that led the Salati Janaza. It's not there. It's also a nafla, but it's compulsory. We should do your work on the. It's not a fardu, but we must do it on the what? On the corpse. If you don't do it and go and throw him like that, that means you will not be accepted as a believer. But it's a nafla because if you didn't participate in it, you didn't lose anything. It is the only thing you lose is the reward of not participating. You have not committed any sin. So these are categories of nawafil that if they are doing, we are encouraged to do what? To rush into it. And getting there, we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever we want. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all this as an act of ibadah from us. May Allah grant us all our heart desires. May Allah let us be among the successful servants. Now, this zikr that we are talking about, are we supposed to be doing this zikr in congregation? Because we used to see our brothers, we used to see our sisters, they say, we are going to zikri, we are going to lazimi, we are going to zawiyah. I've explained to us what az-zikri means. It's just the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in other places, it might mean as salat. Now, coming together to do a zikr, there are two diverse opinions about it that we are going to discuss. And I'm going to tell us my own stand, where I stood. Based on what the ulama have said. And we are talking about the ulama, we are talking about the righteous people, that all their principle, all their philosophy is based on what? Kitabullah wa sunnati Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the path that the Sahabas followed, that is the path that these scholars too are following. So anytime I'm mentioning our malam, I'm mentioning our scholars, I'm talking about these people that follow the what? Kitabullah wa sunnati Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Az-zikr, al-jama'i, to sit down together, to be doing azkar together. Is it what Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam recommended? Was there any Sahabi that did that? Even after the departure of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, was it in existence? We can see from that of the Taraweeh. You know Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he came out one very day. People joined him. The second day, people joined him. It now became that people started coming out. The third day, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam refused coming out. Throughout his entire life, he didn't let people in the what? In Salatul Taraweeh as the way we are observing congregation now. Abu Bakr, it was not even in the history that Abu Bakr led Taraweeh. It was Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu that now brought it back to life. So after them, during Abu Bakr, during Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, nothing like this was done. During Abu Bakr, nothing like that was done. That people will gather in masjid and be shouting the name of Allah in the sense of saying what? That they are doing zikr. A companion called Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari was an elderly man. And he was among the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that stood with Hassan ibn Abi Talib when the issue of Khulafa, when the issue of the leadership between Muawiyah and Hassan. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, he was a very fragile person. He hardly talked. So he was on the side of whom? On the side of Hassan during that time. So this Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, one very day he came out from his house. He was going to the house of Abu Abdurrahman. Who is Abu Abdurrahman? Abdullahi ibn Mas'ud. I've told us, I've mentioned like 5 Abadallahs for you. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Abdullah ibn Zubair, Abdullah ibn Abbas, Abdullah ibn Umar. Can remember 4 out of 5. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, who was Sahibu Nahlei Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was the one that used to carry the slippers, the shoe of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But he was among the most knowledgeable companion of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This Abdullah ibn Abbas, an incident happened one very day. He went on assignment after the death of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he tied down his camel. So as he was about, after the assignment, he was about mounting the camel. You know the camel, he used to have like a shackle that you place your legs. One will be on the left hand side, the other one will be on the right hand side. So as he was about mounting the camel, Abdullah ibn Abbas now came around. Abdullah ibn Abbas now rushed to Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. He now held on for him that shackle. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud was a malam, was a knowledgeable person. Abdullah ibn Abbas was a malam, was a knowledgeable person. Even Abdullah ibn Abbas, he has a tafsir that we used to refer to as Tafsiru ibn Abbas. The way we used to refer to Tafsiru ibn Kasir. So Abdullah ibn Abbas now held on that shackle for Abdullah ibn Mas'ud to climb the what? To climb the camel. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud now told him that, Ya ibn Ammi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh, you of a noble family, that you come out from a noble family, you are an honorable person. Why is it that you are the one that you are holding this shackle for me? You that you came out from the family of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Abdullah ibn Abbas, his father, was the uncle of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abdullah ibn Abbas and Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are first cousins. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were first cousins. So Abdullah ibn Abbas is among the whom? Among the Ahlul Bayt. So the Ahlul Bayt, they are honorable people. They are family of Nabi Muhammad that you cannot mess up with. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud now say, you, that you are from this great family, you are holding this for me that I'm nobody. Abdullah ibn Abbas now replied back to Abdullah ibn Mas'ud that, Akaza naf'alu bi ulama'ina. This is how we used to relate with our malams, because they are honorable people. Indicating that all of us we should be honoring whom? We should be honoring our malam, the righteous malams. Not the musicians, not the comedians, not the ones that are supporting the Yahoo people. The righteous malam that are telling us about Kitabullah wa Sunnah Nabina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So even if you have a very noble background, you should honor whom? The Ulama'ullah. So it is that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud that Abu Musa al-Ash'ari was going to meet. I hope you are following me. So when he now got to the house of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he now told him, Ya Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, I saw something. People gather in a particular house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, halqa. And they were doing what? They were shouting the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud now asked Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, Ma Mazafan, that what did you do unto them? He now told him that I didn't do anything. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari told Abdullah ibn Mas'ud that I didn't do anything to them. I only came down here to report to you what I have seen. Antaziru ra'ayka wa antaziru hukumuka. I want to see your discretion and the judgment you want to pass concerning these people that sat down inside one place, inside the mosque precisely, and they were shouting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. I want to see the fatwa you are going to pass on them. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud now asked Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, where are they? Let's go and find them. They now went out from the house of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. They now went to where they are. On getting there, Ibn Mas'ud now said, Afala amartuhum. Oh, you, Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, Afala amartuhum. Oh, why can't you instruct them? An yahudu shayi'atihim. For them to have been counting their sins, the atrocities that they have committed. Because what Abu Musa al-Ash'ari saw them doing was that they were counting stones. Maybe there wasn't a rosary, there wasn't tasbah then. They were counting stones. La ilaha illallah as a count. La ilaha illallah 2. La ilaha illallah 3. They were counting stones. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud now told Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, why can't you tell them that instead of them counting the good work, the tasbihat, the ta'lilat, the ta'midat that they are doing, why can't you tell them that they should be counting the number of atrocities that they have committed? Are we getting it? That instead of them counting the good things, they are counting the la ilaha illallah. They want to do 1 million. They want to do 330. Adadul malaika. Adadul anbiyaullah. They want to do 124,000. Adadul rasulullah. Who asked them to be doing this? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud now told Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, وَدَمِنْتَ لَهُمْ أَنْ لَا يَدِيَ أَسَنَاتِهِمْ. And I'm very sure I have that contentment that their good work will never go in vain. Instead of them counting the good work that they are doing, you that they gave you to do la ilaha illallah 126,000, if you do it for 125 days, all of you will become wali. Instead of doing that, be counting the number of atrocities, be counting the number of evils, be counting the number of sins that you have committed, according to what Abdullah ibn Mas'ud told Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. So when they get there, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, Maza tasna'un. What is it that you people are doing? What are you doing? Qala, Ya Aba Abdurrahman. They now called Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. He is the one that used to bear Abu Abdurrahman. He has a son that is called Abdurrahman. They now told him, Ya Aba Abdurrahman, Hassan, what we are doing, this zikr that we are doing, that we are counting la ilaha illallah number 1, la ilaha illallah number 2, la ilaha illallah number 3. Hassan, we see that is something good that we are doing. Now would we be ta'lilan, wa takbiran, wa ta'mid, wa tasbihan. We are doing this to glorify Allah. We are doing this to purify Allah. We are doing this to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud now told them again, Fawuddu sayyatikum. It's better for you to stop this that you are doing. Be counting your sins that you have committed. Fa'anna dominun an la yadi'a min asanatikum shay'an. I'm very comfortable and I'm very sure that any good thing that you do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never let your effort to be in futility. You will surely get the reward of whatever you do. So stop counting this. It's better you should be counting all the evils that you have done. All the people that you have destroyed their lives. Be counting them so that you report yourself to Allah and you get clearance on the people that you have destroyed their future. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said this. Why hakum? Ya Amata Muhammadin. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud now faced them. Why hakum? Oh you people! He exclamated on them. Why hakum? Why are you doing this? Ya Ummatan Muhammad. Oh, you the group, you the followers of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ma asiya halaqatikum. What is wrong with you with what you are doing? Why are you doing this? What is wrong with you? What is your problem? Awullahi sahabatikum sahabati nabiyukum sallallahu alaihi wasallam mutawaffirun. Awullahi sahabati nabiyukum sallallahu alaihi wasallam mutawaffirun. People around you here, they are the Sahaba of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that lived with him, that ate with him, that died with him. They are not doing this. You, where did you see yours from? That means you have introduced an innovation. Wa kullu bid'atin dalalah wa kullu dalalatin finnar. In doing zikr jamu'iyya. People that are here with me, him himself, Abdullah ibn Abbas, you know he is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, they were together. See us, we are Sahabatun Nabiyikum, we are the Sahabas of your prophet, who was our own prophet. Mutawaffirun, we are still here, we are around you, not that every one of us have transited to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wazi, and this that we are doing, Siyabuhu lam tabulla. The clothes that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wore and he left behind, lam tabulla. The cloth is yet to turn to rag. It's not old enough to even turn to rag, indicating that the sunnah that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam left is still there. Why are you doing this? Wa aniyatuhu lam tukisab. And the cups, the plates, and everything, these are just parables. That Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam left behind, lam taksura, they have not spoiled, finished. They have not got broken. The clothes that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wore and left behind, that is the sunnah. That the sunnah is still there, and we, that we are the Sahaba, mutawaffirun, we are still around. If some of us are, some among us have died, some of us are still alive. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not killed every one of us at the same time. Wa aniyatuhu lam taksar, lam tuksar. And the plate of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is yet to be broken. Why are you bringing all this? Wallazi nafsi biyadi. I swear to Almighty God that my life, my soul is in His hand. Innakum, you people, la ala millati iya ada min millati Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You have really crossed the boundary of the what? Of the boundary of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our muftati babin fitna. In our ask them, do you want to open the door of calamity? With this that you people have introduced, do you want to open the door of calamity? Qala ya Aba Abdurrahman. Oh, then I said, oh, Baba Abdurrahman. That was whom? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Ma aradna ila al-khair. All this that we are doing, we don't have any intention other than what? Other than doing good. Faqala Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. He now said, Inna Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Inna Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam adasana. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them that Anna common, there's going to be a particular group. Yakirauna al-Qur'an. They will be reading Qur'an. La yujawiru tarakiyahum. That whatever they are reading, it will be around them. It will not ascend to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever Quran they are reading, whatever tafsir they are doing, whatever hadith they are doing, it will not fly beyond where they are. That means whatever they say unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will not grant them. Wallahi ma adri la ala aksara minkum summa tawalla minhum. In answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm scared not to be that you people are the people that hadith is referring to. That whatever you are saying will not go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Summa tawalla anhum. After some time, after this discussion, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud just left them and he departed. Indicating that Zikru Jama'iyya, we chanting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala together is not what Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did, and it's not what his Sahabas, what they practiced during their lifetime. Some, they used to bring hujjah, two hujjah from the Holy Qur'an, one from Surah Al-Kahf, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that wasbir ma'al ladhina yad'una rabbak bil ashiyi bil gadawa wal ashiyi yuriduna wajhahu wala ta'du anhu zinnatal ayatid dunya wala takfal an dhikrihi wa tabawa wa kana amruhu furta. In Surah Al-Kahf, wasbir, Allah told Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, exercise patience. Ma'al ladhina yad'una rabbahum bil gadawa wal ashi. So they took that gadawa in the morning, wal ashi, and the evening. And the term that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used there is term of plural. So they took it as what? As gathering together to do zikr. And that is where some particular sect, they now say their lazimi in the morning and their wazifa in the evening is from bil gadawati wal ashi. That is not what the context of that Quran means. Another set of people say, alladhina yazkuruna Allaha qiyaman wa qu'udan wa ala junubihim. They say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned az-zikr. Alladhina yazkuruna Allaha qiyaman wa qu'udan. That zikr there is not the zikr la ilaha illallah subhanallah walhamdulillah. That is not what Allah meant here. It's what? It's as-salah. It's prayer. Because Allah mentioned alladhina yazkuruna Allaha qiyaman wa qu'udan. Those that are observing salah, qiyaman, while standing, wa qu'udan, while sitting, wa ala junubihim, and from that lean. And this verse was revealed because of some sahabas that they were not feeling fine. They were unable to follow Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the battlefield, and they were feeling bad, but they were sick. They were bedridden. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to appease them, not appeal. To appease them, to allow them to be happy that even if you didn't go, your intention has gone. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pleased with you. Allah now said that yazkuruna Allaha qiyaman. Since you are not okay, any one of you that can struggle with his health, that can stand up, yazkuruna Allaha qiyaman, he should stand up and do what? And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and pray. Wa qu'udan, the one that is not feeling fine, that cannot stand, like me, you sit down. That's why you see some people inside some masajid. They will sit down on what? They will sit down on chairs. Also, we Muslims, we are not encouraged. If you want to pee, we should not stand. We should not be peeing while standing. But on one condition, if you have leg problem, if your health cannot take it, you just try to fold your what? Fold your trousers so that a split or a splash of the urine will not splash on it. You fold it, then you are allowed to pee while what? While standing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed that because of the sahabas that are not feeling fine. So yazkuruna Allaha qiyaman, that is there, is not what? It's not zikr. That is why I understand, I can speak. The classical Arabic doesn't mean that you can translate Quran. Arabic is just a language. And it was used to do what? To write the Quran. Because Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was an Arab. So even an Ajami, a non-Arab speaking person, might understand Quran exegesis more than an Arab. It depends on the gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives individual. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, I hope you understand. So azikir, Jamu'iyya, is not what the Sahabas practice. But we have some of our scholars. Imam al-Nawawi, who is a very reputable scholar in the level of them, Imam Bukhari, he also supported Sikiru Jamahiyya, to sit down and be doing what? And zikir together. But some scholars, they said it might be possible that Imam al-Nawawi, when he was passing his own fatwa, he didn't see this particular hadith of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud and that of Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. I hope you are getting it. I explained this to us during Ramadan, that there is tendency that some people, after learning from Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what they have learned last year from Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they were unable to come back to him, that thing that they have learned has been abrogated. But that is what they will hold on to. And throughout the entire life of Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they didn't have opportunity of coming back to him. That was what I tried to expatiate on when we are talking about al-khaytul abyadi min al-khaytil aswadi min al-fajri summa atimu siyamu ila al-layli. When we are talking about al-fajr, al-fajr as-sadiq wal-fajr al-kazib, the true al-fajr that we talked about in Ramadan. That some companions, they have gotten a fatwa for Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that this is when we need to stop eating. Summa atimu siyamu ila al-layl. They didn't come back. I mentioned a Sahabi, Adi ibn Ato. That Sahaba that I told us, that went and tied rope to his leg. That he wants to know, he tied one white rope to one of the toe, and one black rope to the second toe. So he was expecting when the light, the dawn, the reflection of Al-Fajr will come. So that is when, if he's able to differentiate between the black and white, that is when he's going to stop his sahur. I mentioned it to us. They have collected a certain part of that verse. That is why I told us that Quran chapter 2, verse 187. A particular section of that verse was revealed, assuming last year. The completed part of it came to revelation the following year. Summa atimu siyamu ila al-layl. It was after 1 year that it revealed back to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, indicating that all the verses in Quran, not all of them were revealed to him as a complete verse. So there is tendency that what this Sahaba has gotten from Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never had the opportunity, and there is no cell phone, no WhatsApp, no Instagram, no handphone like this, no technology. They have to travel. Some will travel 1 year before they got to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Salman al-Farisi, he spent so many years from Paris before he got to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina, and he sojourned in 12 locations before he got to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that was passing through the hands of bishops, just because he was searching for what? Hidayah. His father was the custodian of the fire that they used to worship in their place. But he discovered that, no, this is not Allah. This is not Allah. We've discussed Salman al-Farisi. Abdurrahman bin Nusar, Abuhurayrah, it was his king that came for Umrah. It was his king that came for Umrah. He was the one that accepted the religion of Islam, that now went back to their town. And it was from that person's hand, that king's hand, that Abuhurayrah now accepted religion. He now came back to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to Failu ibn Amuri al-Dawsi. That was the name of the king of Abdurrahman ibn Sahar. That Abuhurayrah. We have read Abuhurayrah like 3-4 hadiths today now. Those are the idiots used to call him that a beggar. They used to call Abuhurayrah a beggar. And he spent less than 5 years, 4 years and some months with Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and nobody reported the number of hadiths that Abuhurayrah reported. Because when he came, he sat down with Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He never went back till the death of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Can we compare those ones with the people that came and learned and left? I'm just trying to juxtapose that they will get this from Nabi Muhammad, but another thing came after it. That is why I told us we are going to discuss about an-nasikhu wa mansukh, abrogation. There are some verses in the Holy Qur'an that were existing before, but they were all abrogated. They existed, but they became abrogated. That is why we have man nansaha min ayatin aw natin khairan minha. Allah says if we abrogate this, natin bi khairin minha, we are going to bring another one that will be better than the one that. So maybe they have gotten the one that were abrogated. They didn't know. That is why I'm just trying to buttress Imam al-Nawawi that supported the Zikr Jama'iyya. To sit down together and be shouting Allah, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. It was not practiced during the time of Nabi Muhammad. It was not practiced during the time of Khulafa ur-Rashidun. It was not practiced during the time of what? Sahabatul Kiram. And it was not practiced during the time of Tabi and Tabi'ut Tabi'un. Where did we get our own from? Those that are doing it. Conclusively, my own stand is we should be doing individual zikr. That was why I brought the issue of Surah Al-Kahf. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept whatever we might have discussed. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us our shortcomings. Amr ibn Salama, another Sahabi said, Ra'ayna ammata ulaika al-ilah yuto'inuna yawman na'arani ma'al khawarij. This Amr ibn Salama said that the day they were fighting the battle of Naharawan, you know, a lot of battles, battle of Mut'ah, Ar-Raji, all these battles are there. All these battles are there. So on the battle of Naharawan, he said he saw these guys. He saw these guys that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud spoke to, that what we are doing in this zikr jama'iyya, congregating and be doing zikr. He saw some of them on the day of the battle of what? Of the Khawarij. Waman hum al-Khawarij, waman hum al-Mu'tazila. Who are the Khawarij? We have talked about who are the Shiites, right? But up to now we have not discussed who are the Khawarij and who are the Mu'tazila. So they saw some of these guys among the Khawarij, the day of the battle of Naharawan, the battle between Muawiyah, Yazid ibn Muawiyah and Ali ibn Abi Talib, before Ali ibn Abi Talib was massacred. They saw some of these guys among them. Conclusively, the seventh activity that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said we should be doing if we want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our prayer is iyadatul marid, to be visiting the sick ones. Whoever is sick, either is a Muslim, either is a Christian, either is a Jew, either is a free thinker, or al-mustashirikun. We know the mustashirikun. The mustashirikun are those that are studying Arabic, are studying Qur'an, studying Ahadith, all our theology, right? They are learning it to come and fight us. If any one of them is sick and they are in your neighborhood, go and greet them. As Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, "Man min muslimin, whoever amongst you as a Muslim, yaudu maridon masiyan, who visit a sick person masiyan in the evening, illa kharaja ma'ahu sab'ina alifan malakin, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send as an envoy, as his own invisible entourage, 70,000 angels. They will follow him. They will follow him, they will see him up and come back with him. They will now stay with him to be protecting him at Yusiba till the dawn, till the morning. You know, he went in the evening, maybe he just came back from work, and you know that tomorrow, I might not have the opportunity. He now rush to go and greet that person, either in his house, either in the hospital. Allah will send along with him 70,000 angels, Ulaika al-Mukarramun. They will follow him. Throughout the journey, they will go with him, and they will come back with him to his house. They will stay with him, protect him overnight till the dawn. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said again, "Waman ata'u musibi'an, waman ata'u musibi'an." Whoever that goes out in the morning, maybe you are planned now, tomorrow I have to go and greet so person in the hospital by 8 a.m. You know that is money. You now plan that you want to go and greet somebody in the hospital. Kharajama usabuna alifan malakin. 70,000 angels that follow the person that went in the evening to go and greet a sick person will also follow you that you are going in the morning. And they will be with you till the following day. Yes, they continue to be asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you. Ata yusiyan, till evening they will be with you. You can see the beauty of what? Of visiting the sick ones. Brothers, even if you don't have money to give anybody that is sick, let us go and greet them and pray for them and supplicate for them. Shafa'ak Allah. Allahumma ajirka min azil fitna. Allahumma ajirka min azil marid. You pray for him or her. That is what Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam encourages every one of us to do. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all this as an act of ibadah. So, Biqudratillahi ta'ala, this is the conclusion of the activities that we have been discussing for the past 3 weeks now. The 7 points that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam encourages every one of us to participate in, so that He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, can answer our supplication. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it and forgive us of our shortcomings. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabiyyi ya ayyuhallazina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala nabi. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May He accept this as an act of ibadah. Inna Allah ya'murukum bil adli wal ihsan wa ita'i dhil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar wal baghi ya'izukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. Biqudratillahi ta'ala, this is where we are going to stop. And next week, I want to conclude what we have started discussing from October last year concerning this issue of Palestine between the Jews and our Muslim brothers and other human beings that are living there. We have been discussing it, but I want to round this off and close it so that we can further any other discussion that is better. We have already established that the land, it belongs to us. I've cited so many verses in the Holy Qur'an, and that is the Al-Ardul Ma'ashara. That is where we are going to gather on the day of Qiyamah. That land that they are fighting for. That the foreigners, invaders, we have talked about how Nabi Muhammad got there. How Umar went and collected the key. I brought all the keys here. And how Nuruddin Azinki, the leader, the master of Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, have mentioned all this to us, have given us all the references. Now, how we got to these people now? Because it's not just that Palestine alone. They are fighting, they want to go and exhume the corpse of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Their target is Medina. It's not that Palestine alone. I have the record. Their target is where? They are claiming, because Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did the ijla'u, he expelled them, and that was what led us to the discussion of the expulsion of the Jews in Medina. We have done that of the Banu Qaynuqa. Now we are going to that of Banu Qurayza. We will now conclude with Banu Nazir. There are 3 categories of Jews in Medina. So they are claiming that it is their land. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated and he sent them out. They want to go and claim it. So they are targeting the grave of Nabi Muhammad, when even that of Masjid al-Aqsa, if they finally collect it, as they are claiming that they are going to collect it, right? They want to put the status of Moses. We have partially discussed the problem from day one, and where we stop, we are going to continue. And the agreement of this British and the France, all of them we are going to treat it, inshallah. I'll conclude it next week, inshallah. May Allah spare our life. Allahumma izal Islam wal Muslimin, wa zilla shirka wal mushrikeen, wa damir adaka ada ad-din, wa ansur ibadaka al-muwahidin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma ati nufusana taqwaha, wa zakkiha anta khairu man zakkaha, anta waliyuha mawlaha. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim, ma ismi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama. Raditu billahi rabban wa bil islam dinan, Abi Muhammadin nabiyya sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Qum ila salati ya rahmatullah.